So we continue with the examples of applications of principle of flotation, and the next what we are having is a very important part in case of the given reason, and that is no change in level of water on melting of floating piece of ice. Okay, see, it is this way that if I got a particular glass, suppose this is a glass and this glass contains water, suppose this contains water up to this point, and then I added ice into it. So I added ice into it such that now it is this way that ice is over here like this. So we can see that the water is completely filled over here. Ice is such that 90% is inside the water and 10% it is above the water. It is this way, right? So it's quite obvious that if this above portion over here, if it starts melting, then definitely this particular water would have overflown from here. Right, so if I see that the water or the ice which is over here, it is getting converted into water, then जितना वो ग्लास के बाहर ऊपर जो है, ग्लास के ऊपर है, वो मेल्ट होगा तो डेफिनेटली यहाँ पे ओवरफ्लो होगा नहीं, पर नहीं होता. ओके, इट इज सीन दैट व्हेन द आइस मेल्ट्स there is no overflowing of the water taking place. Now let's understand the reason behind it. The reason behind this is anomalous expansion. See, it so happens, suppose I take 90 ml of water. We very well know that when water turns to ice, it expands. Okay, when water turns to ice, it is going to expand because on cooling things expand. Only 4 to 0 पे वो expand वो जब भी हम लोग 4 डिग्री से लेकर 0 डिग्री जाएंगे at that time cooling के टाइम पे it is going to contract, but now it is going to expand, and that's why we see that ice is going to expand on cooling. So water is going to expand on cooling, okay, because of 4 to 0 degree Celsius का जो anomalous behavior है इसलिए. So we find that when water at 0 degree Celsius is going to convert into ice at 0 degree Celsius, it is going to become 100 ml. So 90 ml of water gives you 100 ml of ice. Okay, 90 ml of water gives you 100 ml of ice. So now if I take this particular container once again, so let's consider it properly, that this is the container and this container contains at this rim you have got a ice cube which is such that it is this same ice cube 100 grams 100 ml. What will happen as per this thing what we saw earlier is that the ice ka 90% is going to remain inside the water and 10% is above water. So you can see that 90% will be inside and 10% will be above the water. That means out of the 100 ml of ice which is inside, 90 ml is going to be inside the water and 10 ml will be above the water. Now if this 100 ml of ice is again converted into water, what will happen? It will get converted into 90 ml only. Okay, there won't be any increase in the volume of the water because ice जब भी change होगा water में, तो of course what will happen? It will contract again. Here it is expanding, so it will be contracting again. Contract to what? 90 ml again. So what? When ice melts, what is the water content in that particular ice? Again 90 ml, which was already available by the ice. So 10 ml जो ऊपर था, उतना automatically contraction हुआ. And that is the reason the amount of contraction what takes place in the ice and the amount of the ice which was there inside the water is same, and that is why there is no change in the level of the water when ice melts. So when the floating piece of ice melts in water, it contracts by the same volume equal to the volume of the ice piece above the water surface while floating on it. So ये कितना कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हुआ 10 ml. क्यों? क्योंकि उतना ही ml जो बाहर था उतना ही कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हुआ है. So the ice cube is going to contract at in such a way that it is going to contract with equal to the volume which is above the water surface. Okay, so it contracts by the volume equal to the volume of ice piece above the water surface while floating. Hence the level of water does not change when the ice floating on it melts. Okay, so when the ice is floating on it melts, there is no change in the water level. Okay, this is very very important. Now you may ask me in that case that तो फिर हम लोग ग्लोबल वार्मिंग की इतना चिंता क्यों करते हैं? ये जितने भी आइसबर्ग्स है वो अगर समझो मेल्ट हुए हैं तो भी कितना पानी लेगा, पानी का लेवल तो सेम रहेगा. Yes, you are perfectly right. आइसबर्ग जब भी मेल्ट होता है तो we are not concerned about the global warming. We are concerned with the ice which is melting from the snow-capped mountains and on the surface of the ground. ग्राउंड के ऊपर जितने भी एरियाज है जहाँ पे स्नो रहता है या आइस होता है, इवन दैट मेल्ट्स, इट इज गोइंग टू ऐड टू द वाटर entering into the sea. So that's why the sea level rises. The sea level rises because of the melting of the ice-capped mountains and the glaciers and not the icebergs. Icebergs melt हो या नहीं हो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. The level of the water is going to remain the same. Next is flotation of the ship. Fish. Many species of fish have an organ called swim bladder. It acts like a ballast or a flotation tank of a submarine. When a fish has to rise up in water, it diffuses gas from its fluid into the bladder. So its volume increases and its average density decreases. This increases the volume of the water displaced by the fish, and so the upthrust on fish increases, due to which it rises upwards. The fish, when it has to come down, it empties its bladder to a required extent. So its volume decreases and the density increases. Hence, the upthrust of the fish decreases and it sinks in water. So exactly how the submarine is going to operate. Similarly, natural case for fishes takes place. So you can see the whales and all. They always come upwards. Bit of a blast of air which is given out, and then again they go down and then again come upwards. So why do they do that? How do they do that thing? That is because when they give out that air, they are going to rise upwards, and when they are breathing in, they are going to go inside. So when they go breathe in and go inside, and then when they are breathing it out, then they are going to come upside. So that is how they are going to come up and down like the submarine. Now, apart from the water, we can also see that the upthrust and flotation can also be seen in case of balloons in air. So when a light gas like hydrogen or helium, density which is much less than air, is filled in the balloon, the weight of the air displaced by the inflated balloon, that is upthrust, becomes more than the weight of the gas filled balloon and it rises upwards. So we can see that because of the weight of the balloon, okay, that much is easily being managed by the upthrust, that is the volume of the balloon with the density of air. So what will happen is that the upthrust will be more than the weight of the balloon, and when the upthrust is more than the weight of the balloon rises upwards. So till what time it will rise upwards? Till the time the upthrust and the weight of the balloon does not become equal at a particular point, because we know that as you go higher and higher, the density of the air goes on decreasing. As the density of air goes on decreasing, the upthrust goes on decreasing. If the upthrust goes on decreasing, automatically the body will not go rising upwards. Hence, at a particular point where the upthrust will be equal to the weight of the balloon with the gas inside it, it will stop going upwards. So balloon does not rise indefinitely. The reason is that the density of the air decreases with altitude. Therefore, as the balloon gradually goes up, the weight of the displaced air decreases. It keeps on rising as long as the upthrust on it exceeds its weight. When the upthrust becomes equal to weight, it stops rising further. So this is how the balloon also rises upwards, and also we see flotation acting on this particular part also. So this was about the chapter flotation. Now we can easily start with the numericals of this particular chapter. and we have the numericals over here. We have 9 numericals. So before we start with the formulas first, and then we'll start with the numericals. So we start with the numericals with the formula first. So first of all, the most important formula in this particular part of the chapter is about the law of flotation. So we have the principle of flotation will be, first one is V upon V will be equal to rho S upon rho L, where small v is submerged volume upon big V is the total volume. Okay, and rho S of course density of solid, and rho L is liquid density. Okay, this is the main part. Of course, the other, which is FB is equal to V rho G and all, will be required, but this is the main one. Okay, this is the main one what we are going to use in this particular exercise. So small v upon big V is rho S upon rho L. Okay. So we start with the first numerical. First one, a rubber ball floats on water with its 1/3 volume outside water. What is the density of the rubber? So we have got over here that 1/3 volume outside water. So outside water is equal to 1 upon 3 V. Therefore, submerged is equal to 1 minus 1 upon 3 is 2 upon 3 V. Okay. Therefore, V upon V is equal to rho S upon rho L. You wanted to know the density of the rubber. So this is, we are taking it as, so it is 2 upon 3 V upon V is rho S upon 1000. Okay. So VV gets cancelled. It is 2000 upon 3 is equal to rho S. So rho S is equal to 666.67 kg per meter cube. Okay. Or we can just write as 667 kg per meter cube. Okay. The next is sum number 2. A block of wood of mass 24 kg floats on water. The volume of the wood is 0.032 meter cube. Find the volume of the block below the surface of water and the density of the wood. So first thing is volume of the block below the water. Now we know that over here we know that W is equal to FB. Okay, W is equal to FB. So accordingly we know that FB will be equal to 24 kgf. So we know that FB is equal to 24 kgf. That is, this is because of principle of flotation. So by the principle of flotation we know W is equal to FB. So FB equal to 24 kgf. So FB is equal to V rho G. So volume is given to us. No, it's a complete volume is given to you. So that's not required. So we have over here 24 is equal to V into rho is 1000 into G. So therefore V will be equal to 24 upon 1000 is equal to 0.024 meter cube. The next we know is density of wood. So density of wood is small v upon big V is equal to rho S upon rho L. Small v is 0.024 and big V is 0.032 is equal to rho S upon 1000. Clear? So this gives us 8 3s and 8 4s. So it will be 3000 upon 4 is equal to rho s. So rho s will be equal to, given to you as 750 kg per meter cube. Okay, that is rho s, that is the density of wood. We move on to the third sum. Sum number 3. A wooden cube of size 10 centimeter cube has mass 700 grams. What part will it remain above the water surface while floating vertically on Earth? So we have over here that capital V is equals to L into B into H, or is equals to 10 into 10 into 10 is equals to 1000 centimeter cube. Small v upon big V is equals to rho s upon rho L. Now it is given that, sorry, this is fine. They are given that W is equals to 700 grams, or mass is equals to 700 grams. So W is equals to 700 GF. So we know W is equals to FB. So FB will be equal to V rho G. So 700 is equals to V into rho into G. Therefore V is equal to 700 centimeter cube. So submerged part will be 700 centimeter cube. Now because submerged by 700 centimeter cube, so therefore volume above is equal to 1000 minus 700 is equal to 300 centimeter cube. Now height is equal to volume upon area of cross section, or we can write down directly over here that volume is equal to area of cross section into height. Therefore height is equal to 300 upon 10 into 10, because the area of cross section is length into breadth, 10 into 10. So that is going to be 3 centimeters. So we can see that the height which is above the water will be 3 centimeters, is above water. That is sum number 3. We now move on to sum number 4. A piece of wax floats on brine. Brine is nothing but salt solution, which what fraction of its volume is immersed. So we just need to find the volume of fraction of volume, that is small v upon big V is what we need to find out. When they are given us that rho wax is equal to 0.95 grams per centimeter cube and rho brine is equal to 1.1 grams per centimeter cube. So we know that V upon V is equal to rho S upon rho L. Rho S is 0.95 upon 1.1. So that will be, if I divide this thing, it will be this way. That is 1.1, 0.95. So 0, then the 0, so it will be then 95. So it will be 8. So it will be 88, and then it will be 70. Then it will be 6. And then again 66, and then 4, so it will be 3, so 0.86, so it will be 0.86, that is the ratio of the volume. So we got that what fraction of the volume is immersed. So fraction of volume immersed is equal to 0.86. We move on to sum number 5. If the density of ice is 0.9 gram per centimeter cube, What portion of an iceberg will remain below the surface of water in sea? Seawater density is 1.1. So density of ice, they can write rho ice is equals to 0.9 grams per centimeter cube, and rho water is equals to 1.1 gram per centimeter cube. So we need to find out what portion of the iceberg will remain below. So we have V upon V is equals to rho S upon rho L. Solid is 0.9 and liquid is 1.1. So accordingly again we will be having the same thing. It will be 0.818. So it will be 0.818. Therefore 0.818 volume of iceberg inside water. Okay. So 0.91 part of it. Yeah, that's the same thing. We move on to sub number 6. A piece of wood of uniform cross section and height 15 centimeters float vertically with its height 10 centimeters in water and 12 centimeter in spirit. Find the density of wood and density of spirit. So what we see here is height h is equals to 15 centimeters. H in water is equals to 10 centimeters. And H in spirit is 12 centimeter. We know that small v will be equal to area into H water, and big V is equals to area into height of the body. Okay, area into submerged part, that will be the volume, or that is nothing but the volume of the submerged part, and area into total height will be the volume over here. So we have over here V upon small v into big V is equals to rho S upon rho L. So in this we know that this is nothing but 10 into A upon 15 into A is rho S upon rho L is water, which is 1. So they are given you that the water is equal to 1 because they're not given, but it's water given to you, so you will take it as 1. So A gets cancelled, this is 2 upon 3. So rho S, that is rho of the wood, is equals to 2 upon 3, that is nothing but 0.667 grams per centimeter cube. That is the density of the wood. Now we see the density of spirit. So for that thing also we are going to use the same formula, but now the difference will be that small v upon big V is equals to rho S upon rho L, where small v will be equal to A into HS upon A into capital H is equals to rho S. We already know 0.66, or we can take it as 2 upon 3 upon 1. So A gets cancelled, rho S is 12 upon 15 is equals to, this is not L, this is rho L. 2 upon 3 upon rho L. So rho L, this is 3, this is 5, sorry 4 upon 5. So rho L will be equal to 2 upon 3 into 5 upon 4. So that is 5 upon 6, which is 0.60. So it will be 8. 0.889 grams per centimeter cube. Okay, so sum number 6, it is 0.833, sorry, 0.8, let me check, the 48, 20, 21 and 3, or 33. This was sum number 6. Now we move on to sum number 7. So we can see over here we did the sum in such a way that पहले हम लोग ने वो चीज को पानी में डाला तो 10 centimeters अंदर डूब गया. So if I put this in water, this is complete 15 centimeters. When I put it inside water, तो 10 centimeters तक पानी में गया. And when I remove it and then put it in brine, in case of in spirit then 12 centimeters तक अंदर गया. So पहले 10 में गया, इधर 12 गया, बाकी total is 15. So that's why in the first case you know that water का density तुझे मालूम है. That's why you are finding out the density of solid by this method. The density of solid is used over here. You know the density of solid. Now we need to find out the density of the liquid. So this is how you are finding out the density of liquid. That was sum number 6. We now move on to sum number 7. There are 3 more sums, so I'll complete it in the same video because I know anyway that's the end of the chapter also. So sum number 7. A wooden block floats in water with 2/3 of its volume submerged. So you can see submerged volume is equals to 2 upon 3 V. Calculate the density of the wood. So when the same wood is placed in oil, 2/3 of the volume is submerged in water. So first of all, we already know that V upon V is equals to rho S upon rho L. So 2 upon 3V upon V is equals to rho S upon 1. So rho S is equals to 2 upon 3. So 2 upon 3 is nothing but 0.667 grams per centimeter cube or 667 kg per meter cube. Now they are given that if the same particular solid is placed in oil, 3/4 of the volume will be immersed in water. So we know that small v is equals to 3 upon 4 big V in oil. So small v upon big V is rho S upon rho L. So 3 upon 4 V upon V is equals to rho S, which is 2 upon 3 upon rho L. So rho L will be equal to 2 upon 3 into 4 upon 3 reciprocal. So that is going to be 8 upon 9. So 8 upon 9 is 0.8. That is 0.8 because it is 72 and then 80 again. So 889. So 889 is equals to, or that is gram per centimeter cube, or it is 889 kg per meter cube. So that's about the 7th sum. We now move on to the 8th sum. Okay, clear? It's exactly similar to the 6th sum. पहले हम लोग ने density of solid ढूंढा, and with the help of density of solid we found out the density of the another liquid. That is 7th sum. We now move on to the 8th sum. The density of ice is 0.92 grams per cent and the seawater is 1.025. So rho ice is equals to 0.92 grams per centimeter cube and rho water is equals to 1.025 grams per centimeter cube. Find the total volume of an iceberg which floats with its volume 800 centimeter above water. So capital V is volume, total volume. Volume above water is equals to 800 centimeter cube. Therefore, volume below water is equals to capital E minus 800. So we see that small v upon big V is equals to rho S upon rho L. So it is V minus 800 upon big V is equals to rho S is 0.92 upon 1.025. Cross multiply, you get it is 1.025 into V minus 800 is equals to 0.92 V. So 1.025 V minus 800 into 1.025 is equals to 0.92 V. So this will bring it on this side. So this we get 1.025 V minus 0.92 V is equals to 800 into 1.025. So when you calculate this thing, it will be 1025 and 920. So 5 0 and 1 105. So that will be 0.105. Is it 8? Yeah, 105 V is equals to 800 into 1.025. So V will be 800 into 1.025 upon 0.105. That is nothing but 800 into 1025 upon 105. Okay. So this will be 521s and 5201s. Sorry, 205s. Okay. And then you will need to do this calculation. So accordingly, this is 21. नहीं होगा तो 21 से डिवाइड कर लेते हैं. So we'll do one thing, we'll divide 205 by 21. So 21 9s is going to be this way, that it is going to 9 ones are 9 and 9 twos are 18, 189. So that gives you as 6 and 1 60, 160. So 9 point, and then it is going to be 21. So 7s are 7 and the 7 and 7 14. So that will be 13, and then in 130. So it will be 6 6 ones are 6 and 6 twos are 12. So 4. So 9.76. So this goes over here, and this is 9.76. So 8 7 is 50. Sorry. 8 6 are 48, and 8 7s are 54. 54 plus 4 58, and 5, and 72 plus 5. नहीं, कुछ गड़बड़ किया. Yeah, it will be 7080. Yeah. 7808. So approximately this is the answer, because we have not taken the rounded off. So according to the actual answer is 7809.5. Okay, this is the volume in centimeter cube. Because we have taken the approximate value, as we are not completely rounding it off. So here, because we rounded it off at 2 decimal points, तो अगर ये आगे करेंगे तो हो सकता है we get it as this part. Okay, so that was about the sum number 8. Now we move on to sum number 9. It's a big sum but very easy sum. A weather forecasting plastic balloon of volume 15 meter cube contains hydrogen of density 0.9 kg per meter cube. So first of all, we are given over here that the volume of balloon is equals to 15 meter cube. Density hydrogen is equals to 0.09 kg per meter cube. The volume of an equipment carried by the balloon is negligible compared to its own mass volume. So yeah, negligible volume of the equipment. The mass of the empty balloon alone is 7.15 kg. So mass of balloon is equal to 7.15 kg. The balloon is floating in air of density. So density air is equal to 1.3 kg per meter cube. Calculate the mass of the hydrogen in the balloon. So first of all, first case, mass of hydrogen is equal to volume into density is 15 into 0.09 is 1.35 kg. Next is the mass of hydrogen and balloon. So just addition, mass of hydrogen and balloon is equal to 1.35 plus 7.15 is going to be 8.5 kg. Third is the total mass of the hydrogen balloon and equipment. If the mass of the equipment is x, of course again the same thing. mass of balloon with hydrogen and equipment is equals to 8.5 plus x kg, because they are just given that x kg is added to it. Next is the mass of air displaced by the balloon. So fourth part is mass of air displaced is equals to volume into density. Volume is given to you as 15 into density is 1.3. So 15 into 13 is 195. So it will be 19.5 kg. So the mass of the equipment using the law of flotation. So now we know that whatever, this is nothing but the upthrust. So this is equals to FB is equals to 19.5 kgf, and we know that W should be equal to FB. So here we know that 8.5 plus x is equals to 19.5. Therefore x is equal to 19.5 minus 8.5 is equals to 11 kg. So the equipment should be 11 kgs so that it can go upwards. So this is what is in this particular question, that there is a balloon. वो क्या है, वेदर बलून है. वेदर बलून कैसा होता है, पूरा का पूरा बलून का वेट इज 7.15 kg एंड इट्स वॉल्यूम इज 15 मीटर क्यूब. उसके अंदर हाइड्रोजन भरा, हाइड्रोजन जितना भरा, द वेट ऑफ द हाइड्रोजन वाज 1.35 kg. सो ऑटोमेटिकली द टोटल वेट ऑफ द बलून विद द हाइड्रोजन वाज 8.5 kg. उसके नीचे एक इक्विपमेंट लगा, सपोज आई पुट दिस इक्विपमेंट ओवर देयर, वो इक्विपमेंट लगा. अभी इक्विपमेंट अगर उधर लगाया तो वो ऊपर जाएगा, बट अगर समझो इक्विपमेंट का वेट अगर 30 kg है तो क्या ऊपर जाने देगा वो? नहीं. क्यों? वी विल हैव टू फाइंड आउट दैट व्हाट इज द अपथ्रस्ट गिवन बाय द बलून. सो अपथ्रस्ट गिवन द बलून इज वी रो जी. वी रो जी में वी क्या है? वी नो दैट वी इज नथिंग बट द वॉल्यूम ऑफ द बलून. रो क्या है? रो इज द डेंसिटी ऑफ द एयर. सो अकॉर्डिंगली वी नो दैट द मास ऑफ द एयर व्हिच इज डिस्प्लेस्ड इज आल्सो द FB upthrust, that is 19.5. So the balloon is giving an upthrust of 19.5 kgf. So if it is giving an upthrust of 19.5 kgf, automatically we know that the weight of the balloon plus the weight of the equipment should be less than, should be equal to 19.5. 19.5 तक का कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. अगर उससे ज्यादा हुआ तो ऊपर जाएगा ही नहीं, तो उतना तक है तो भी ऊपर जाएगा. सो दैट्स व्हाई वी सी दैट द x का वैल्यू विल बी 11 kg. सो द मास ऑफ द इक्विपमेंट यूजिंग द लॉ ऑफ फ्लोटेशन विल बी 11 kg. सो दिस वाज द एंड ऑफ द चैप्टर दैट इज फ्लोटेशन and the complete upthrust. So very important chapter, the complete part, the upthrust and the flotation part is very important. You see the numericals also are very important. So that's the end of the chapter. Okay, thank you.